Hello. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. Hello. Welcome to my Instagram Live. Today is Saturday, May 2nd, 2020. If you're watching this on the YouTube, then it is not live for you. It is a pre-recorded video from the hours of 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time here in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I hope that everyone's having a wonderful Saturday. It is hot here. It's like 80-something degrees outside. I don't like it. Yesterday it was like nice and cool. It was like 65. 80 today. 80 today. Ridiculous. Hello, Sandra in North Carolina. How are things? How is everyone doing? Hi, Ruthie. I hope that if you are participating in the Stitcher Mania, that you are having a great time. I'm super happy with my decision to, it's only day 2, but I'm super happy with my decision to work on one project for 4 days. Like, I really feel like I can get some good progress in, so that's exciting. So, yeah, I'm happy about that. So, yay. SDL Crafter ordered a Kringle, like, from Wisconsin, like, for food, or the chart Kringles. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Hello, Tyler. Happy Mania. So I hope that if you are, participating in the mania-ness that is this month, that you are enjoying it so far. I know that we are. So, okay. So what I did yesterday, how we ended yesterday, was I was showing off some pieces that Pam had stitched for me and gifted to me. And I got through 4 of them, and I have 1 left. So I want to show that. And then I have my first top 10 list that may or may not be 15 because I suck at narrowing things down. Okay. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Savvy Terry. I'm assuming her name is Terry. She got the Danish apple and raspberry. That sounds so good. So a Kringle is like this huge, not huge, it's not like the size of my car, but it's a large Danish, basically. And then it's filled with stuff. Like, Danish apple and raspberries and cherries. And, oh man, it's so good. It's flaky and amazing. And there is a bakery in Wisconsin, and that's where they come from, is Wisconsin. And they ship. So, go get you some Kringle. Okay. So, they're so good. They're so good. So, we will start. And Trader Joe's also sells them from O&H. Is it O&H Bakery? That's the ones that we have tried and we love, is the O&H Kringles. And they also sell them at Trader Joe's. So, it's not Christmas at our house without a Kringle. My brother-in-law has sent us one for over 30 years. Awesome, Ellen. That's amazing. Okay, so the last piece stitched by Pam that I want to show you all is designed by Casey Bornagorio. And, so this is how I was doing. I was like, how did I do it yesterday? So, sorry about the closeness. But I put them up here, and then I turned the camera around so you can see them. Do not fall. Thank you. Okay. So, this is it. It's lemon meringue pie. I love anything flavored lemon. And then I also, wow, that's showing out there. The lighting is weird. That is way too bright. But that's more like it. And when I lived by myself, in my own apartment, I had my whole kitchen was lemon themed. So, and then it's double matted. Wow, that it changed when I move it. It changes colors. That's fascinating. So I love all the little details. It's so cute. You can actually see this flower a little bit more. And this was framed at Keepsakes back in the day. Look at all those little eyelets down there. Look at that. Look at Pam's cross stitches. Look, let's just take a second. Really? Really, Pam? Really? It's perfect. And then, I don't know if you can see, but in between there's little beads. And no, the meringue, this is like a brown. Yeah. And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I really like that lemon slice too. Yeah. So she did a good job. That is by Casey Bornagorio. As to where you get her charts, does she still sell them online? Do you know? No. So it's not available. But you might be able to find someone who has it, like, on the secondhand sites or, like, eBay or something. So, sorry about that. So if this is, your first time joining, which I know that I'm seeing a lot of familiar names on here, so, but I want to address that. If you have any general questions or whatever as I'm talking, please feel free to ask them. I am happy to answer them. Sometimes I squirrel. So, I'm sorry about that. So one of the biggest, so a couple of days ago, I asked my followers on the Instagram to, help me brainstorm up some ideas, as to content for these Instagram lives. And one of the ideas that I got, and I'm super sorry that I don't remember who it was that I got the idea from. I need to be better about that. Okay, sorry. Sissy, squirrel. So MJ Loves to Stitch says that she did sell some as a PDF last year. Maybe try contacting her. That's a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. And I'm also really sorry that I've had something in my right. Do you see me do this? All morning, so if I know that people are like, don't touch your eyeballs. So, and yes, Sandra, are you okay? I'm assuming since you said LOL, Sandra said she just fell on the stairs running to get a package. Please don't hurt yourself. Thank you. So one of the really great ideas that I got, like I said, from someone that I don't remember. Sorry. I got a lot of messages every day. So, was to do like a top 10 list, and of various things from designers to patterns to finishes to floss tube channels to shops. And so, I've not been to every shop in the country, and therefore it's hard for me to be like, these are the top 10 best shops, and I don't have the right or the platform to be able to say these are the best shops, because that's just not right. So instead I did a little bit of a twist on it. So there are a actual crap ton of shops in the country. I know that sometimes we hear about them closing, or there's not a lot of brick and mortars left, and some people live in states where there are no brick and mortars, and I'm sorry about that. But there are some really fantastic ones, and Pam and I go to retreats all over, and we like to, whenever we travel, to search for a needlework shop, and if there's one on the list, then we go, and sometimes it blows our minds from expectation standpoint, and some of them leave something to be desired. But they're all great because they're all needlework shops. So anyway, so the list that I have today is my bucket list shops. Now, that's not to say that if we travel somewhere and there's another shop that I'm not going to, nope, not on the bucket list. We cannot stop. No. Okay. We're going to stop. But these are ones that I'm like, I want to go to them with Pam one day. Kind of thing. And somebody asked a question. I need to get back up to it. Okay. So Sits with Needle said, Steph, I got 40 count fabric in the mail. Congratulations. What should I stitch as a beginner? Any suggestions? I suggest, first and foremost, something small. Just so you can get used to, like, I would not start with, like, a long dog sampler. Or, like, a ginormous sampler. I would start with something small. And maybe something monochromatic. So, like, I stitched Bluebird sampler from Heart and Hand. That was an amazing 40 count stitch because it was all one color. And then do you have the spring issue of Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine? If you do, there's a little bunny in there by Heart and Hand as well. And that was 2 colors, I think. 2 colors. And that was one of my first projects on 40 count. So I suggest something small and something with 1 or few colors, just so you can get used to stitching on it. That'd be my recommendation. Okay. Alright, sorry, I gotta read these. Okay. Yes, so, Michelle, she asked, I wonder how many LNSs have you visited? So that's something I have to do a little bit more research and come up with Wednesday, is coming up with my list of all the shops that we have been to. And there are some shops on this list, on my bucket list shop list, that Pam has been to. It was years ago, obviously long before I started stitching, but I want to go with her. So, yes. Okay. When there are 2 DMC colors listed on a Blackbird pattern for one place, what does that mean? Okay, so I don't know if somebody has already answered this. Goat Sew Eat Knits. Wow. I'm glad I broke that down. Goat Sew Eat Knits. When there are 2 DMC colors listed on a Blackbird pattern for one fancy floss substitution, what does that mean? That means that one fancy floss is made up of those 2 DMC colors. So, like, it's variegated enough to have 2 DMC matches. So, you could either pick one that you like, or you can use 1 strand of each. If you're doing 2 strands. If you're doing 1 strand, like if you're doing 40 count and you want to use 1 strand of floss, you gotta pick which one you like. So. Hello, Yukon Viv. Hello. Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Okay. Alright, so Basket Babe 1, hey Basket Babe 1, says, when stitching on 25 count, is it over 2 threads or 1? So, on 25 count, you can do either or. So, on 25 count over 1, they're going to be very thin, tiny little X's. If you want them to be, like, bigger, fuller X's, then you do over 2. And also, if you do it over 2, it's going to, like, double the size of your project, as opposed to over 1. So, it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. When I stitch on 25 count, I do over 2, because I like the big fat X's. Okay. Oh, I'm glad. Annette said that with me sharing the names of LNSs, that's how I learned that they exist. That's amazing. How many threads do you stitch 25 count with? I usually do 2, but I'm not a super coverage nut. Like Barbara, my boss slash shop owner, she would probably do 4 strands because she's such a coverage nut. But I've heard anything in between. So, 2 to 4. It kind of depends on how much coverage you like. So, okay. Okay. Hello, Alaska. It says Caribou. AK, which is Alaska. Caribou. Love it. Love it. Okay. So, these are in no particular order. Keep that in mind as well. So, hello. Wow. I'm going to see if I can say this. Olofu. Olofu. Olofa. Guess where she's from? Iceland. Wild times. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, so scratch this list. I just want to go to Iceland. Oh, just Olaf. There you go. Fantastic. Love it. Okay, so we're going to start. Okay, so I was supposed to have 10. I have 15. Sorry. And the first one on my list, without question, this is like top of my list, want to go, need to go, will go, is Shepherd's Bush. Shepherd's Bush is located in Ogden, Utah, in the Salt Lake City area. And it's not? Is it like generally in that area though? Okay, so cool. I don't know geography. So either way I want to go. I don't care where it is. I just want to go there. I know it's in Utah and I know it's in the town called Ogden. So there we go. And I want to go there for so many reasons. One, they've been in business forever. And I like their combination of like how they're obviously like designers, but also shop owners. So like that whole different, I like meeting people that wear multiple hats in the industry. I think that's really cool and really unique. And to be shop owners and designers, I think is super, super unique. So, and yes, the plan right now is to go to Stitch West, and we will then get to check this bucket list shop off the list. So obviously things are tentative because of the current situation, but we are hoping to go. So and then we can go to Shepherd's Bush. Plus I remember like my very first market 2 years ago, and meeting the owners of Shepherd's Bush, and it was just a wonderful experience, and I just really want to go and see all the models they have on the walls, and it's like a history of needlework, and I'm just really, 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 really want to go. Yes, Annette Keepsakes is taking pre-orders for Coming to America, by With a Needle and Thread. All we need right now at this point is your name and phone number and what preferred count of fabric you want to stitch it on. So you can call the shop to put your name on that list. Okay, so Ogden, Pam, just Google mapped. Ogden is a half hour north of Salt Lake. So we will most definitely be going. It is not on my list because I had to narrow my list down, but also the Craft Center Refined Stitchery, which is also in and around that area, is one that I want to go to as well, and we will go there. we will go there when we go to Utah. So, Shepherd's Bush. Okay. The next two are shops that I just want to go to because I've heard, because I've met the owners of both of them. I have been in their pop-up shops at Galleria 2 years in a row now, and I just want to see if, after seeing what they've done in a pop-up shop in a hotel room for Galleria, yeah, I'm going to need to see all of your stuff. Thank you. And that first is Silver Needle, which is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Pam has been there before, so it would be obviously a return trip for her. And then the second is, let me make sure I get this right, Inspired Needle, which is in Lamont / Chicago, Illinois. So Lamont is a suburb of Chicago. And you probably, if you did not know, Kathy from Inspired Needle has a floss tube. I think it's Kathy and Nancy. I think I got that right. And so check them out for sure. And any shop that can run a shop and put an event on, like Galleria, knows what they're doing. So that's why I really want to go to Inspired Needle, just because, you know what you're doing. And plus it's just, I want to go and support them and all the things. And then Silver Needle is just I don't mean to be everybody talks about them, but everybody talks about them. So, I definitely want to go to Silver Needle. I would like to go to one of Silver Needle's retreats, to be fair. For sure. Okay. But they're in the summer in Oklahoma. And it scares me a little bit. Because that's hot. Okay. Next on the list, if you followed us for a while, this should come of no surprise to you that on my bucket list of shops is Reflections Framing and Stitchery. Reflections Framing and Stitching, not Stitchery. Reflections Framing and Stitching, which is in Omaha, Nebraska. It is owned by Julie McConnell, who is also a floss tuber. So if you have never watched her, you should, because she does her floss tube videos from the shop. She's doing a chart of the day series right now, which is super cool. And I want to go mostly because I just adore Julie. Adore Julie. And I want to see, I've never been to Omaha before either, so I would love to go to Omaha. I know that people will probably be there's nothing in Omaha, but I love those flyover states. So, yeah. I just want to go see Julie in her prime. And I just want to see her shop. Because we talk shop so often, her and I do, that she's been to Keepsakes because she's come to StitchCon. So she knows what I'm talking about when I talk about, the shop and stuff. And so, I've seen her in her videos, and I've seen YouTube videos of her shop, but it's not the same. So, yeah. So, yeah. Reflections, Framing and Stitching, for sure. Coming for you, Julie. That's another one that I want to, she puts on retreats, and I want to go to one of her retreats as well. She has a spring and a fall one, and it just hasn't worked out a lot because her fall one is usually in October, early October, and that's when we go down to Tennessee to the Whistle Stop retreat. And then her spring one is super close to StitchCon usually, so it's ugh. But one day we will go. Okay. Next, is another shop that Pam has been to that I have not been to, and it is in Portland, Oregon, and it is Acorns and Threads. Isn't Acorns in Portland? Okay. I wrote that down without actually looking it up, and I just wanted to make sure. So Acorns and Threads. If you watch FlossTube at all, you've heard of Acorns and Threads. Like, there's so many FlossTubers that live. It's like this like saturated FlossTuber area. And Janine, the owner, is absolutely wonderful. She's so sweet. I met her at Market last year. I think we saw each other in passing this year. I don't think we like stopped on a conversation, unfortunately, but Market's so crazy. And I've seen like videos of her shop, obviously, from being friends with Linda Jo. And I just like the fabric tables, like, oh, it's like, why don't just touch them all? So definitely, for sure. And I want to get like an Acorns and Threads bag and all. I don't do all the acorn things. And also it's like, there's just so many people that I watch on FlossTube that live in that part of the country that I just think would be super cool to like see and meet, and people that I've met before at other retreats and things, of course. But, yeah, that would be really, really fun. So, Beadwitch says, Acorns is awesome. I met Audrey and Stephanie there when I went last fall. My son lives in Portland, and I was there for a visit. Beautiful shop, and Janine is great. Yes, Janine is fantastic. I've talked to her on the phone along with meeting her at Market, like I said. But Pam actually has been to Acorns and Threads, but it was like in a different location. Like, it was like that long ago that she'd been there. So yeah, Acorns and Threads in Portland, Market. And every shop that I've mentioned so far, to my knowledge, is doing mail orders. I don't think that there's anybody on here on my list that is not doing mail orders. So if I mention a shop and you're like, I want to try them out, I highly recommend. So all of them are easily Googleable. So, yep, that's a word, just made it up. Okay, next on my list is Heart's Desire in Wichita, Kansas. I want to go there, and I want to go there hand in hand with also going to the Picture This Plus retail store. When we go out to visit Marcy in Kansas at some point, because I will. I want to stop in Wichita to go to Heart's Desire. One, like the biggest draw to go there is because that's the home of Lizzie Kate. So, I think that it would just be so amazing to like meet her. So, that would be cool. Be so super cool. And I know that she's in there all the time and all the thing, whatever. So, yeah, I just want to fangirl over Linda E. Bright. Yeah. So, plus I know that it is, Marcy, who's one of our good friends, that is her home store, and she speaks very highly of Heart's Desire, and so, I would like to go there. Have you ever been to Heart's Desire? No, Pam's not been to Heart's Desire. So, yes. So, Sandra said that the closest L&S to her is Sassy Jack's, which is also on my list, and that's unfortunately 6 hours away from Sandra. But Sassy Jack's is in Weaverville / Asheville, North Carolina, and that's another one that like I just want to go to because so many people talk about it. Like there must be a reason why all these people talk about these shops, because they must be doing something right. So Sassy Jack's technically they're in Weaverville, which is in the area of Asheville, North Carolina. So, I want to go there just to, like, see their collection of beautiful things. And that's why I love, like, my biggest reason for liking to go to other needlework shops. Like, I hope there's not, I bet there's probably people out there that's like, why in the world would you want to go to all these needlework shops if you work in one? Well, here's the thing. First of all, it's always good to support small businesses. Second of all, it's also just nice to, like, see other places in the country. And every shop does things differently, and they carry different items, and they set up things differently, and, yeah. So, like, there are a lot of times where, like, I'll go and I'll get inspiration from, going to these different shops and be like, wow, that's a really, really fantastic way to do this one thing. And I'm like, that's really smart. And I take it back to Keepsakes, and I talk to Barbara, and I'm like, hey, I went to this shop XYZ, and I'm like, they did this thing this way, and it, like, is really great, I think. And maybe we implement it, maybe we don't, but I file it away, and I'm like, it's a good thing. That's a good idea. So, and yes, Annette says, each store has a different model stitch, which is so true. Like, that's just obvious. Like, we stitch models at Keepsakes that we think that our customers would enjoy seeing, and every shop has different customers, obviously. So, they stitch models to appeal to their customers. So, that is super, super, super fun. Yeah. And yeah, there are a lot of shops in the Chicago area. That's true. So, and also, like, there are some things that Keepsakes doesn't carry that these shops carry as well. So, we have a bag, our quote unquote L&S bag. We each have a bag of partially kitted items, and so we'll take those with us to different shops, and we will kit something up, and then that will be the project that we kit up at that shop. That makes sense. It's like my winter fox that I finished stitching, that I purchased and fully kitted at Country Sampler in Spring Green when we went there last year. So that kind of thing is really fun to do. So okay. Let's stay on the East Coast, and let's talk about Dynastitch. I think that literally, like, if you watch any floss tube at all, again, you've heard of Dynastitch. They're in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I want to go there for all sorts of reasons. One, see the models. They always have some sort of, like, beautiful trunk show that I always want to see. And everyone talks so highly of them, and also they're the home of R&R. So, R&R Reproductions, Linden. So, I've met Pat before at Market, and I just want to see their models and their shop, just generally. Yeah. So, and everyone that I've spoken to speaks so highly of them. And I know that Pat is awesome, so I would like to see the inner workings and, like, what it is for a shop to be a shop, but also a fabric dyer. I think that is a really fascinating combination of things. So I'd like to see that. Hello, Linda McKinney Cross in Alaska. This is like the female version of the typical male bucket list of visiting all the MLB parks. It totally is. I do know how you feel about R&R, Melissa. I will take you with you. And yes, Dynastitch. So that sounds like that's one that we need to get to soon, because a lot of people want to hear my review. Just kidding. Okay, we're doing East Coast still. Okay, so we have two more on the East Coast, one up north and one down south. So up north is Needleworker's Delight, which is in Metuchen/Newark, New Jersey. They are also the home of Silk Weavers fabrics, and so a lot of the same reasons that I want to visit Dynastitch also goes to Needleworker's Delight. More than anything else, I want to visit Needleworker's Delight for their fabric. That would be the thing. So, that's I think that one is probably pretty reasonable as like a shop that we could get to in our general travels. You know, so yeah, I would like to like that, except it's just outside of New York City, so that would be banana pants. But if we were to go, back to if we were to ever go back to Maine, as if we're never going to go back to Maine, on our next trip to Maine, we can always go, and not direct, but a L-shaped trip, and stop over there. So, when I was in college, my best friend from high school went to Juilliard, and I would drive down from the University of Maine in Orono to New York City to visit him, and however, I didn't stitch then. So I should have, though, so I could have gone to Needlework or Swipe, but didn't. Okay, and then on the East Coast, the last East Coast shop is Cross Stitch Cupboard, and they are in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They are home to the Sunshine Stitchers. My friend Vicky, Stitch and Button, talks about them too. Carolina S. I don't mean to I hope I don't leave anybody out, which I probably am. But I know that they're home to a lot of fosters, which is amazing. I've only been to Florida once in my life before, and that was to go to Disney World when I was in high school. And so, uh-oh. I've lost my mag. You've lost your mag eyes?
Yeah.
No, you haven't. I don't know where you put them, but I don't think you lost them. They're probably on the bathroom counter. More likely. Just saying. Okay, everyone's saying hi, Pam. Linda, Cross Stitch Cupboard is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So that's where they are. And then also, I had a really funny thing. Yes, Karen. Karen is the owner. I had this most hilarious, thing happen. When I was just so everyone knows, Pam's mag eyes were literally in the floss bag of the previous project she was working on. Not on the bathroom counter like I thought. It's okay. This is why I came about. I'm a cat. So, come here. Really? Fine, whatever. Yes, everyone's glad that you found them. Me too. Okay, so this is the funny thing that happened at Market. So they have a retailers meeting. Ruthie says, at least they weren't on your head. So there's a retailers meeting, okay, and we were in there, and then there are people that, like, what is the word that I'm looking for? Lead the meeting, basically, and I knew some of the people that were standing up there, but there were some people that I had absolutely no idea who they were, and I feel bad about that retrospectively, but you could ask questions, right? So I asked a question, and I feel very strongly about not assuming that everyone in the cross-stitch community knows who I am. I don't like to make that assumption. I hate that. I hate when people make that assumption about themselves. I think that's pretentious, to be completely fair. And I just don't assume that everyone knows who I am. And so I raised my hand. And keep in mind, while I'm at Market, I'm not Steph from Just Keep Stitching. I'm Stephanie, an employee of Keepsakes. And so I raised my hand because I had a question, because I'm a new kid. And the cute little lady up front, she said, yeah, Steph. And I was like, there was no way she could read my name tag from all the way back in the room. Okay. And I was like, she's like, hi, how are you? And I was like, I'm good, thanks, how are you? Who the hell are you? And it was Karen from Crush's Cover, and I was like, she's so cute. She was so, so, so sweet and so nice. And I was like, I need to go see Karen in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, so people are asking about the Mad Guys now. So, is that what brand they are? Is Mad Guys? Are they Magna Clips? They are Magna Clips, and they clip onto Pam's glasses. Pam got hers at Keepsakes. And apparently, according to Tony, you can get them on Amazon. But Keepsakes also sells them. I think the magnification Pam has like a 2.5. 2.5. There you go. Oh, yay, yes, Karen's so sweet. So I was so flattered, and I was like, I felt super terrible that I didn't know who she was. But that was mostly because I just couldn't read her name tag from across the room. So, and also, obviously, all the Sunshine Stitchers speak so highly of the shop and all of that, and I want to go see them. Okay, so, next, let's see, is Stitchery Nook. Stitchery Nook is in Osage, Iowa. We had all the intention in the world to go see the ladies at Stitchery Nook last fall. However, this is going to sound really dumb, but we failed to look at a map. So, last fall when we went to the Midwest Crossers Retreat, which was in Amana Colonies, Iowa, and we were like, oh, well, when we leave, we'll just go to Osage. Well, no, we're not, because Osage is like in the opposite direction of home. So we should have gone before the retreat, and we didn't, and we just sucked at that whole thing. So eventually we will get out to Osage, we will go, and it'll be fantastic. I'm excited. But I know that the owner of the Stitchery Nook is incredibly wonderful, and she's very present on social media, which is great, and she is a big fan of Pam and I, so, which is really cool. So, that is Stitchery Nook in Osage, Iowa. Roseanne, do you realize that this is the best hour show in America at this time? Yes, I do. Just kidding. Just kidding. Bye, Sandra. Have a good rest of your day. Okay. Let's go south of Iowa to the Stitch Niche. The Stitch Niche, which is, okay, so I think it's technically located in, I hope I'm not pronouncing this wrong, Pantego, I don't know how it's spelled, however, it's Pantego / Arlington / Fort Worth, Texas. The Stitch Niche is just another one that I have heard so many wonderful things about from people on FlossTube and people that have come to StitchCon and all of that. And, yeah, I first started hearing about the Stitch Niche from Heather, the Blessed Stitcher. And the other FlossTubers to follow. And I just really want to go. I have absolutely no idea the geography of the state of Texas in relation to any of the other LNSs that I have written down on my list. But I know that Oklahoma is close to Texas, which is close to Arkansas. So maybe I can go from Silver Needle to Stitch Niche to Shepherd's Needle Shepherd's Needle is in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I really want to go. I have heard fantastic things about Shepherd's Needle, especially from Leslie at Fat Cat Flossing. So, sorry, I was reading a comment. So, plus, I've never been to Arkansas. I think I drove through it one time when we went to Louisiana when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything about it, so I really want to go back. Stitch Knits, Amy D1201 said Stitch Knits is a great store, visited when in Dallas for my son's volleyball tournament. Fantastic. In Stitching, Chris says, I feel like earlier this year I saw some newsletter talking about a summer road trip map. Anyone else see that? Remember when you can get triptychs from AAA? Absolutely, 100%. They should make an LS road trip version. So at the end of the live, I'm going to give you guys some information. So stick around for that. Ruthie wanted me to tell you that she just ordered Magna Clip 2.5 because she's been wanting to try them for a while. Pam just gave you a thumbs up, Ruthie. And Flame Fingers says there is the best German restaurant right down the street from Silver Needle. I'm going to need the name of that. Thank you. Tony, absolutely. I need to go with you. Tony Weiss says, Beth and I have actually talked about renting an RV to go on a cross-stitch/quilt shop road trip. Wouldn't that be wild? It would be wild, and I would need to come. Thank you. I'll drive. Okay, so I have 10 minutes left. It's Margaret's. That sounds nice, Margaret's. Okay, so I have 2 shops left. And thank you, Tony. Much love to you. And those 2 shops are in the Southwest. First is Stitcher's Paradise in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've never been to Vegas before, ever. I would like to go. Pam, you didn't go to Stitcher's Paradise, did you, when you went to Vegas, right? No. So my aunt, Pam's sister, and her husband, they like to go to Vegas a lot. And Pam went with them one year and did not go to Stitcher's Paradise. I'm sorry, what? So, we need to correct that? Yeah, we need to correct that. So, yeah, plus, like, I've seen, someone did a shop tour, and I don't remember who did it, but it was amazing, and I need to. Yes. Melissa says, Tony, there'd be a lot of stowaways on an RV, myself included. It would be the biggest clown car exiting situation. Love it. That's hilarious. And yeah, so I want to go to Citrus Paradise in Vegas. I don't even need to go to Vegas to gamble. I just want to go to Vegas to go to Citrus Paradise. I mean, maybe I'll play slot machines for like 5 minutes. Okay, sorry, I'm reading the comments. Okay, and then the last shop on my bucket list shops is the Attic. And the Attic is in Mesa. Everyone, I'm sure, has heard of the Attic. They are very, very, very good at what they do. And they also carry a lot of things that Keepsakes does not carry. And from what I've heard, they're kind of home of sampler land. And so I would just love to go to see the models, be inspired, and just see all the things. And the Attic, like I said, is in Mesa, Arizona. Arizona. And also, Stash sister, Carolyn. Carolyn is like the best. I met her. She is just as sweet as pie on her videos as she is in real life, and I love her. And we've met at Market the last 2 years, and she's great, and so I would love to go out there and see her. So, that is all 15 of my bucket list shops. Like I said, there are so many more wonderful shops out there in the world, and when we travel, we want to go to as many as we can. Keep in mind that if I didn't mention a shop that you're like, why didn't you mention that shop? I might have already been there. So keep in mind when I do my shops that we've been to, that might be where that shop is located. I've been to some pretty fantastic shops. So yeah. The last piece of information I wanted to share with you all is, if you are on Facebook, there is an absolutely wonderful group on Facebook called Stitching Road Trip. I know that there's been a lot of comments and jokes about taking a tour bus trip and an RV caravan and all the things. But seriously, this group is wonderful. Whoever the admins are, and I feel really crappy that I don't know their names, but the admins have a lot of great files within the group where literally like they list out all the shops in alphabetical order, what city and state they're in, gives you all their contact information. They tell you what products they carry, like if they're just cross stitch or cross stitch and quilting or just needlepoint or whatever. And it's everything. It's everything from cross stitch, embroidery, needlepoint, quilting, finishing services, framing. Like, it's such a great group. And shop owners are getting on there. They're posting about their shops. And they're saying, hey, we are here. We're open. We're taking mail order, like whatever. And it's a really great resource for people that are traveling and people who are looking for a shop to support. And it's just a great group. So the group is called Stitching Road Trip on Facebook. She does a really good job of like updating, things. So the last shop update was in August of 2019. So, there will probably be an update this summer at some point. So it's just really, really great. Like, people will go on there and they'll be like, hey, me and my husband are traveling from Cincinnati to Dallas. Can anybody tell us any shops in between? And people will comment. It's amazing. So, it's just a really great resource and a really good group if you are interested in that. Okay, so somebody said they were mowing the lawn. I have to mow the lawn today. I don't want to mow the lawn today. I might try to convince Pam that I can do it tomorrow before we record. Wish me luck. It's really hot today. So I hope that you all have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Yeah, I know everyone freaks out about me mowing the lawn because I go outside. It's like the one time I go outside. It's okay. Our lawn is not large at all. It's just hot up there. So, if anybody has any questions or wants to verify like the name or location of any of the shops I talked about, please just let me know. The name of the Facebook group is Stitching Road Trip. It's great. I think there might be a couple questions that you have to answer before you enter the group, but if you missed any of this, it will be up on YouTube very, very soon. I will upload it immediately as soon as this hour is up. Keep a lookout for our next floss tube video, which is going to be up tomorrow evening. And then I work Monday, Tuesday, and then I will be back here on Instagram Live on Wednesday. So, love you guys so much. Thank you for being so amazing. And I'll catch you up on Wednesday. Bye.